Okay, this is a quick overview for the projectile motion problem, which you should have copied on the back of your practice test. If you're in period 1, I forgot to give you the vertical motion equation. You can find that on page 335, I think, in your text. Either way, you'll see that on here or on the solutions, which I'll send out on Remind in a little bit. So if we go into our y equals, so we go y equals, and we'll enter that equation which we've written, which is negative 16x squared plus 80x plus 6. Okay. From here, we're going to go ahead and hit graph. Now you'll see my window is already set up from when I ran this before, but let's say that our graph, and I'll just go to standard here, zoom standard, and let's say we can't see the way that graph looks like, or all I see is that little blue line, and so I know this isn't right. Then I would just hit into my window button here, and I would want to manually adjust that. Okay, my x minimum, I don't care about seeing the left side of my screen because I obviously don't have a negative time. And then my x maximum, if I'm throwing a baseball, I would guess maybe 7 seconds that ball would be in the air, and so this is really just kind of a guess at this point. My y minimum, again, I don't really care about the negative values, but I want to have a little bit of a negative value there just so that my x and y axis don't end up right on the screen, so that I can still see where those are at. And again, I'm just going to guess here, if I'm throwing a baseball in the air, I would guess maybe like 120 feet. And again, that's just something you would guess based on the problem, or maybe that would be something you might know. And then I hit graph, and we can see I did a pretty good job on my window settings there. I could cut a little off here, or I may want to have a little more on the bottom here so that when I go to find this x-intercept, I have some more room to work, but we'll leave that this way for now. Okay, so now I want to find my maximum height, so I hit second and calc, and I'm looking for a maximum, and we may also want to find a minimum in certain problems, so that would be in this same area here. So I choose number 4, which is the maximum. Okay, now this says left bound. What that means is just go somewhere to the left of my maximum, which is going to be right in here where my arrow is. I hit enter. It's going to say right bound, and you can see all I'm doing is narrowing this down for the calculator. It says guess, and I hit enter, and we can see my maximum value here. The y value is 106, and that's in feet, and that took about 2.5 seconds. So in 2.5 seconds, the ball is at 106 feet in the air. Okay. The last part of this question was to find the time that it took to hit the ground. So that's this x-intercept, or 0, over here by the arrow. So again, I'm going to go into second and calc, and I want to find the 0. And again, same thing, it's going to give me left bound, so I want to be somewhere to the left of that 0. And so where it was fine, but I'm just going to scroll over a little bit to make it easier. And then it says right bound, so I'm going to scroll down, and even though I'm out of my window, I'm still to the right of that 0. And I hit enter, and so now I can see my 0, or x-intercept, happens at 5.07. So in about 5.1 or 5.07 seconds, my baseball's left the ground, gone to 106 feet, and come back down to the ground here. Okay. That is your projectile motion problem from the back of your Chapter 4 practice test. Thanks.